What's going on, nobodies?
What's happening?
It's good to be back here. We're back in the studio.
Episode 3, man. Deacon. Sorry, I haven't even introduced you. Hey, what's going on, nobodies? I'm here with my beloved co-host, Deacon Tuttle.
And I'm joined again with the beautiful Braxton Zenobia.
We're here, man. Thank you. Slipping a slight comment there.
I have to do it every time.
Every time. Gotta hype each other up. This is a big episode.
It's a big one.
We're hitting a milestone 3.
Yeah.
This is a massive. How you feeling? Episode 3.
I'm feeling good. A lot of our friendships and relationships are defined by the number 3, so this is kind of a good one.
Wait, really?
We have the Hydra, me, you, and Owen, which is what I dubbed a couple episodes ago. We got the Triad.
Oh, true. Okay, for those of you listening, this is like different variations of our friend group that Deacon and I overanalyze, and we just create clans for.
So yeah, it's a big time here.
It is a big time here. 3 years. We're coming up on 3 years of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. We gotta really surprise. Is this like a surprise bonus episode, or is this just the third?
I think it's probably a surprise. I didn't think that we were gonna have anybody of this caliber this early on in the show.
Honestly, me too. I did not expect this specific guest because I knew what you're saying, like caliber of a guest, right? I knew we were gonna get this guy on. Yeah. I knew this guest was gonna be on at some point, but I honestly expected after the episode 10 milestone. Yeah. Not gonna lie, or 20.
Because we floated around the idea of talking with our editors, but this happened a lot sooner.
I know. We really did float around the talk about our literal editors of life. Yeah, but. Yeah, dude, how are you doing today? How's the beginning of your weekend? The Friday? Mm-hmm. Your Friday, it's kicking off.
It was a great day. I spent a lot of the time just hanging out with friends.
Oh, amazing.
Working on stuff for this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Spreading the word around. I'm glad that it seems like people are enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
And good opportunity to just keep it going tonight.
Yeah.
Just got some good grub in me. I'm very bloated, if I'm being honest. But it was a good kind of bloat.
Me too, honestly.
That was one of the best fried chicken sandwiches I've had. So.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Rats, period. Yeah, that's great. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. How's your weekend starting off?
It's surprisingly it's pretty good. Fridays are normally kind of a bummy day because I start work and everyone gets to rest from schoolwork. I hit the job. I hit the job. So I got to work and stuff. So I don't really get an off day. But this week has been a bit of an off day. So I came into work a lot more optimistic and. A lot of the people in the hotel left a lot of beer behind, a lot of Modelo, which I'm not a huge Modelo fan, but, it's free beer, and I don't want to spend money on beer, so
But it has the best bottle-shaped body.
It does have the best beer bottle shape. We need to do a bottle, shape
we could do a tier ranking.
We need to do a bottle shape reviewing, because that's a good, when you hold a Modelo, there's nothing beats holding a Modelo.
That's true.
Yeah. I definitely want to get our guest take upon this, because he's a beer connoisseur in the likeness. And it's not even Bruce, so, But yeah, I want to quickly, shout out Goon Productions and your efforts. We got it on Spotify, so if you're listening to this on YouTube right now, I don't know what the heck you're doing, but you need to jump over to Spotify right now. Or if you prefer YouTube, go ahead and stay there.
Yeah, if that's your role, then go for it. But we're not visual yet, so.
We're not visual yet. It's coming some point.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I'm sure of it. We keep pushing the check, so why we stop now? So, but we got an official sponsor today. First sponsor ever. Is Goon Productions. Goon Productions is a platform of media that focuses itself on projects centered about different genres of film, comedy, and different forms of entertainment. And being one of the heads of that said sponsor, I'm proud to sponsor this podcast. Yeah. That's all I have is the sponsored message. Quite frankly, I just came out with that on the fly.
It's perfect.
Thank you.
It perfectly surmises what we're all about.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Do you got anything you want to say before we introduce this epic guest?
No, I'm ready to go.
Do you want to introduce him, or do you want me to?
I think it's more fitting for you. So why don't you?
I think I agree too. Okay, this is epic. You may know him as the man, the myth, and the legend. You may know him as Rudy Sizemore. You may know him as the king of Shazam. But I get to know him as Dad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Zenobia to Nobody's Watching. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Thanks, girls.
Oh, jeez. Here it goes.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, awesome.
I was surprised when you asked me. Of course, the check was nice, so thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Hey, that was under the table there. Yeah, you're here. You're the third guest.
I'm in the Big E. I'm in the Big E.
You're in the Big E,
Right?
Ellensburg.
And
baby.
Goon Production Studios, no less. It's very impressive.
Oh, yeah, I know. My bedroom floor. Yeah, it's great.
Right?
It's great.
These chairs are comfy.
Yeah.
I must admit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's been a talking point actually
Right?
for the listeners in the last one. They'll come to see.
Have you had any guests come back? No.
Well, we've only had one official guest, and
But we talked about the cozy vibe last
Gotcha.
time.
yeah.
We were playing around with that.
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. We were talking
And if
about
you
if we went visual, at least if we were in this space, because we're moving. Like,
Right.
imagine, you're just gonna have to imagine this, audio listeners, because that's everyone. But me on this end and Deacon on that end, and then the camera's right here, and it's just filming us, and we make like a little sign in the background that says nobody's watching, right? And
Right.
we just chill and vibe. I don't know, but you're here.
Epic.
Epic.
And if I get tired, I can take a nap.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, totally. Well,
Power nap.
welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
Dad.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're here. You're the third guest. Honestly, I also didn't expect this, but I'm hyped that you're a heavy
Well,
hitter.
my assistant got the invite, and she was supposed to decline it, but
Okay, is that mom or is that the dog? Oh, jeez.
yeah, I told her no, tell these guys to go away.
Just tell him to piss off.
But I'm too busy for this. But hey, here I am.
Oh gosh, this is good. This is good. Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, do we want to tackle what our last guest had to ask for?
Oh
for
yeah.
our new guest.
Yeah. We can start off. So Olivia, our last guest.
Olivia Wilde?
No.
Oh.
Not yet. We're getting her on.
Oh.
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
That threw me off. She wants to know what was it like with me growing up? What was I like growing up, basically?
You were a naked ball of fire energy.
Wow.
What?
That is a tombstone
Yeah.
quote.
So
Tomb.
and it's funny right now you have dark flowing hair, and when you were younger, it just stood straight up, and you ran around the house full of energy, but pretty much naked half the time, or most of the time. Just in your underwear.
I had to.
Just in your underwear, running around. In fact, we had one occasion where the dog got out of the house, and you ran down the street in your underwear and socks, and it's pouring down rain.
And that was twice.
And chasing after the dog. Touchdown, where are you? Come back,
did.
don't run away.
Yeah.
So,
It
yeah.
was sad. It was sad.
So, yeah. So that's, you were, but, you were also fun. You were also, you and your brother hung out a lot, did a lot of things together, spent a lot of time together, but you were a ball of energy. Always on the go, jumping, up and down, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's good to hear. I think, I guess I would say the exact same things. I was a pretty energetic child from what I can remember. What was I guess we're just hopping straight into it.
Yeah.
The questions, I guess. But what was I kind of like? Or what was like the proudest moment? I guess in a way, or what was it? What was or maybe not proudest moment. What was like a memory that you're like when you think of me, that's like a definitive moment.
That's a good one.
We're gonna start off bold. We're just starting off bold.
A definitive moment.
When someone says, "Oh, how's Brax?" or you just hear my name, or you see the name Braxton somewhere, that specific moment or image, I guess, pops in your head. I don't know. Kind of a wacky question.
I mean, I don't know, boy, it is kind of a wacky question. And I don't know if there was a singular definitive moment, but you have always been a champion for your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And even, from a young age, right, you were always, you were his best friend. And you're today, you're still his best friend.
Totally.
And it was always nice for your mom and I to watch you guys grow up, and, how much you interacted together, played video games together, built Legos together.
We fought a lot.
Yeah, but that's a sibling thing, right?
Oh,
I
totally,
fought with my sister and my brother too, but
Sure.
just, you had similar interests, you had, all these things, but you were best friends,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
So, that's to me, and to see you grow up, and, as your brother changed.
Mm-hmm.
Your level of attention to his needs, and even though at times he pissed you off, or vice versa,
Right.
You still rallied around him and remained best friends, right?
Oh yeah.
So
it's a day one. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think of that too. I think touching on that, I think that also like kind of my relationship with Addison kind of shaped who I became. You know, like how I treated him in a way, like not that I needed to be oversensitive or anything like that, but like I also think I wasn't very sensitive to him at all growing up because I always treated him like there was nothing different.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it being insensitive. It's just...
Well, no, not like insensitive or sensitive as in the way
just
like
lack of understanding what
Yeah,
was happening to him.
Yeah.
And not knowing what it all meant, right? I mean, you're, a year and a half, 2 years younger than him, right? So to be able to tell you, the truth, the reality of what was happening at the time, we felt wasn't fair to you and your brother. So, we just treated you as like that was happening. But you sensed, I mean, we could see you sensed it. But what was really cool is like we would go places and be in Disneyland or things like that. And you would see something and you would turn to him and say, "Oh, Addison, look at that. See, look," because you guys were buds. It was, I mean, it was great. It was great to see, your friendship and your camaraderie and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah, totally. But like, I think how we bonded also reflects how like I bond with like Deacon and Owen and my friends now. Like, like if I didn't have Addison as a, and I think we talked about this first episode, how our rooms were always like connected in some way. Like, I don't know if you noticed this, but my room is, I've either always been in the room like with him, like sleep wise and like stuff, or it's been connected. Right. Like
because when we moved into the new house, your bedrooms were separated by a bathroom. Yeah. And you shared a bathroom, and I think within the first 6 months, you both moved out of your individual rooms and you moved into one room together.
Right, yeah.
Into the playroom, right?
Right.
And that's like, you spent all summer and then we're like, okay, school's starting, you're going to go back to your bedrooms. And it was like the biggest fight, and finally like, forget it.
Yeah, totally.
So you guys have always, bunked together, had the same room. And then ultimately when you got a little older, you moved into,
Yeah. And I think
the other room, but
I think also like the changes too of how Addison, with the disease kind of changed. We started off, I think, in similar paths and avenues. We both loved basketball. We both liked football. We both liked Legos when we were kids, video games. We liked playing outside. We used to,
oh, geez, you guys used to play Star Wars 24/7. You and the neighbor kids, right? And your fake lightsabers or, shoot, oh no.
Right, totally.
All that stuff, right? And that was even before the whole superhero genre came out, right? It was really prevalent.
Imagine
in the movies.
If we were that age.
So, then, it would be Iron Man's or Spider-Man's or whatever, so.
Yeah, but, I can't remember what I was saying. What was I saying? That's okay. Yeah, we can keep going. Yeah, it's whatever. But, yeah, that's good, I think. Oh, what I was saying is how we were kind of on a similar trajectory and, like, I guess passions in life, and as we started to diverge and, the art route was more of Addison's, like the digital and artistic painting, drawing, digital art, and then mine was more music and.
But you're both artists.
But we're both artists, right? Which is cool. But I think also.
But your way of expressing changed a little bit.
Totally. But check this out. So I think, like, because our rooms have always been connected and we've always had that tightness. Like I was telling Deacon, like I don't think I'd be as close with Addison as I was if my room wasn't always beside his. Because if you think about all throughout high school, middle school, I have to get to my bedroom before through his, and we'd always sit there and we'd play video games. I'd be on the ground and he'd be in his chair, and I would always look at him and he'd always look at me, and we'd all play together, right? Right. And so, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been.
Oh yeah, I remember you're in your room and the door's open and you're playing video games, right? And you're on your TV, he's on his, and you're playing together and yelling at each other. Or, oh, go! Or then when the PlayStation Network came along and it evolved, right, where you could be with other people, right? And then, Owen, come on, Owen! You're yelling at each other, and So it's cool.
Oh gosh,
It was cool.
dude, I miss when I had time to play video games like that.
Me
Right?
too.
Oh, you should be proud of us, Dad. We're hitting that age where I'm like, there's a game conference, Summer Games Fest, right?
Yeah.
Is out, and there's all these cool video games. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to play that, but I'm
Right.
like, is it
That's
5
fine.
hours or less?
Right?
Yeah,
Can't play it.
seriously.
I've been
Can't
playing the
play
same
it.
game for 2 years.
I
so-
know. Remember when you played
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Black
That's
Flag
what I was
for
gonna-
like
that's what I was
literally
gonna
like
bring
5
up.
years or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I never finished that one. That one got too
What?
old.
That's the best one.
Oh, really?
Or it's arguably
It's one of them.
It's
Yeah,
one of the
I
best
don't know.
ones.
Yeah,
Top
I
two.
agree with that.
The one I'm playing now is pretty good. So
The Valhalla one.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a gamer, yeah. What's your history with video games?
So I used, God, I played video games way back in the day. So back when there used to be the Nintendo and
yeah.
Donkey Kong and Zelda, played those back in the day, and the little TV in the in my bedroom, and played that for a lot of years. And then it kind of, once I went to college, didn't really have time for video games.
Sure.
And,
This
you
is
know,
literally what's happening to us right
but
now.
every now and again, I'd find a game maybe I could play, and I didn't really have, back then you didn't have computers, right? Not like today where everyone has a laptop or a PC, right? It wasn't really a thing back in 1986 or 7, right?
Totally.
You barely had remotes on your TV back then, right? And
Yeah.
cable just came out, so you had 4 channels. 5 channels or whatever, 13, 4, 5 7 9
You got
11
the news,
13.
you got football, and you got daytime television with
Yeah.
like whatever.
It was just the 3 major networks.
Yeah.
ABC, NBC, and CBS. And then along the way, Channel 11 came along,
Oh,
right? And
the
then
innovator.
a little bit later, 13 came along, right? With Fox.
Fox.
Wow.
So,
Dude, Fox has been around for a minute. That's so,
so
ridiculous.
yeah. So, I mean, that's been my game history. And then when you guys are babies and we had a computer, I started playing video games again. But back then you installed them on your computer. And it got super expensive because every time a new game came out,
You gotta upgrade your graphics.
you might have to get a
card.
new graphics card, or you need more hard disk space, or you need a graphic accelerator.
That's
all
why
this
these
stuff.
consoles, man, they're the
Right?
freaking best
That's
thing
why
to happen to video games.
Your brother's friends, and they do it on the console. I'm like, knuckleheads, they're spending way more money. You spend $100 for a game, and then you got to spend $300 on upgrades to your computer. It's like,
Right.
what? So,
Right,
anyway.
especially because like with the new next gen stuff,
Yeah.
it's like $70 to $80 a game. Like the 2K21 or whatever was like $70 at launch. That's crazy.
I used to play this game. You guys play it now, Modern Warfare,
Yeah.
but it was on the computer, and it was very different.
Wait a minute, what?
It was very different. It was like you'd give a command like to your squadron, and they would go, and it was a message for you, sir, and all this stuff. Where they would, it was on my way. I'm righto, sir. We're on it.
That is epic.
Yeah.
What would you say are like 3 of your favorite games? Not all time, but just ones that come to your mind and fond memories.
So I'm for multiple reasons. I really dig the recent series of Batman games, Arkham Knight, or those, right? Those to me, I've always been a single player. I've never been really a great, probably because I don't have time to focus on it, but multiplayer type of
The
person.
times
So
you
it's-
tried with Addison, it meant a lot to us. So I hope
Right.
you know that.
Oh, and
but
it was
but
always fun.
really funny because Addison
shot all the time. You
Addison,
guys are
'cause
buzzing around.
Because Addison, the best of us, right?
Yeah.
He plays video games because that's where I think his main passion is. Whether it's the disease or not that brought him to that, but he's definitely the best. And so Addison would be at the top of the kill board. I'd be in like the middle, and then there'd be Dad with one kill.
Right.
That like was an assist from one of Addison.
It was a
with
ricochet off a stone.
Right. You glitched. The guy was frozen because his internet plug was pulled out.
Right. Oh, don't move! I'm trying to line up. Don't move! Oh
I
shit!
remember
Somebody shot
watching
me.
you do that. You're like, I can't hit him, and I'm like, well, if you let go of the trigger, Dad, you might move a little faster.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there'd be you down there with like one kill
Right.
with that internet thing, and then 42 deaths, right? And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, back to the favorite game thing.
Yeah, no, those are probably my favorite games, right? Because they were so. I mean, to me, there's a level, and the Assassin's Creed games are good ones because there's a level of discovery and trying to figure out clues and things like that. Versus some of the games where they're more just shoot 'em up, right? Run around, shoot everybody, and those are okay, and they're fun to play in groups, and but I always like games that have a lot of strategy. Like I used to play this one game called Thief.
Oh
yes.
And you were a thief, and you had to sneak around, and you didn't. Every now and again, you got to maybe kill somebody, but the objective was never to get caught, stay in the shadows. And I always found those type of games really intriguing and fun because you had to think, and it wasn't okay. Oh, I got in the. They're seeing me. Okay, I gotta hide and stuff like that. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
So those are probably some of my favorite games.
That's cool. Nice. What about Zelda?
Zelda was a fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, but those were early games where today's games were like way better. But that's all we had.
You might try the Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Zelda.
The most
I have it,
discovery.
or Deacon has it. I just have the console. I could give it to you, but
it's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like Assassin's Creed, where it could take you years to play that game.
Yeah. It's amazing, this latest one that I've been playing, the Valhalla one. To think of, and I always think about it, right, because of the computer background that I have, and thinking about some of this, the area that they cover, right, and how does that get rendered, and think about, it's a huge world, right, in this video game, and you're moving around, and the trees are changing, the plants, all that stuff, rocks, mountains.
I know, and then the wind, right? You put all these things there, and then you put wind in, and it has to move continuously.
Day, night, I mean, so to me, it's fascinating.
Very, very cool.
And on the production side of it, but
yeah. So, what was the first game you played? Like,
it was probably like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Because your mom, I used to go over to your mom's house when we were dating. And she had like asteroids and Pac-Man.
In her house?
Yeah.
That is
so Grandpa
nice.
had bought an Atari.
Oh, okay.
And so we used to have we played Pong. I mean, that was the first game, Pong.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's elementary as it gets, right?
Sure.
Boom, boom, right? So we played Pong and stuff like that. But then, we graduated to the Atari, and you got to play Galaga or Galaxy. I can't remember.
Galactica?
Galactica, yeah. Where you're the one guy, and you're going back and forth, and the things are slowly coming down at you. Burp, 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 burp. Right, and
there's the visual for you, audio guys.
So those are some of the games, and then Asteroids and Pac-Man and stuff like that.
So comparing, since you've kind of seen video games from the first seed, the first
evolution?
Contact, right? You've seen
First contact.
First contact.
Literally, you're like at the first contact of video games hitting the scene, and now you're at.
And I didn't mess up the Prime Directive either.
Oh, there you go.
What is that?
Star Trek reference.
Right.
First Contact was one of it. That was a good one.
Star Trek's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of pizzas flying in space with motors on them.
Pizzas. Oh my god.
I don't know.
See, your grandfather'd be rolling over right now.
Yeah. He would have been epic on this podcast.
Grandpa, he would have dug this too.
Yeah.
Grandpa was a huge. Your grandfather was a huge Star Trek fan, and we would always watch Star Trek together.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep. But so you've seen the First Contact. I'm gonna keep going with that because I like it. First Contact, the games, and now the peak. And I consistently, in my opinion, claim that The Last of Us 1 and 2 as a collective is the peak of video games. Like of I don't know. I guess you could say story, but I also think the gameplay is like nothing like. The accessibilities, it won like a bunch of awards for the accessibilities it had for like literally you can play the game if you're blind and deaf, and you can play the full game and you can get the full story. So now being on, you've lived both of these things coming out and seeing them. What do you prefer? The old simplistic
I mean, there's
Pong, Pac-Man, or do you like the nuanced and craziness of like I got like 100 different buttons with 100 different inputs and 100 different moves I could do, and my character can like just walk around and talk to people instantly, and their hair follicles can get in their eye and you can pluck them out with your finger. That's an example, but
so I haven't played some of those early games in years.
Sure.
But there's something simplistic about it that you don't really have to think about. So I would say, if I had access to one, I might pull one out because I just want to to me, video games are kind of an escape.
Oh yeah,
You know,
totally.
from the day to day, right?
Yeah,
And just,
yeah.
like some people like to read, some people want to go for an hour-long run or whatever, you know, crazy like that, or you know,
Through the lane, basically.
Yeah,
go
basically,
out.
if you suck ass, you're gonna go for a run. But
But I mean, you know, but to me, video games are an escape and just
Yeah.
to do something,
I
right? It's a
agree.
hobby, right?
yeah, yeah.
And so, I guess a roundabout way to answer your question is, there's a little part of me that says, you know what, the simplicity of those games are cool, and you just don't think and you escape. Where, you know, The Last of Us, the Arkham games, the
Uncharted, yeah.
the Uncharted's, the Assassin's Creed, they're all good games, and there are elements of it where you can just kind of do, but there's also elements of it where you have to really think, I got to put these clues together, or if I go around that corner and somebody sees me, they're gonna chop my head off or something, and I die, right? So you have to think, and so there's the strategy about those games that are really appealing, and you have to think about what you're doing and your actions versus just running up and shooting like crazy, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, that's a long-winded answer to your question, but
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I bet you can agree to this, Deacon, that the shooting, the run around shooting games, they're kind of dying.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I would
games
say
like
that.
COD and Battlefield, they're kind of
Yeah, because they're lacking innovation.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do.
Right.
And the frequency of that every single year, I think people are starting to slow down. Except for maybe this new Modern Warfare might get people into it kind of again.
yeah, because they're remaking the Modern Warfare 1 and 2, like
Yeah.
you showed Addison.
I mean, those are fun games, and I like the Modern Warfare game, but I preferred more the gameplay, where you're trying to get that objective and the story to Modern Warfare versus some of the multiplayer online stuff where, hey, let's just go in a room and run around until you get 8 points or capture the flag or whatever.
Yeah.
Rank
Right?
and
I mean,
prestige.
there's fun
Yeah.
in that, right? But to me, I always preferred the other piece of that game.
Totally. Yeah, I think there's a large group of people that believe that too. But you were saying something about there's not a lot of innovation.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do within the genre, and I think lots of people are. I don't know if they're giving up on like shooters per se, but I guess that specific style of shooter. I think it's more about battle royales now, and the more community aspects that you can get invested in, and that get back into it straight away as possible. And
totally.
more variety in that. So I think it's just shifting a little bit.
Because didn't the last Modern Warfare they go into space?
I think that's
Or
like a
is-
couple ago. That's
Couple
like
ago?
a
Okay,
few.
so I might be
Because
behind.
they hit this point where they're like, okay, we've gone too far in the future. Now we need to go back in time to the World War II, World War One era.
And to me, that was the best.
Oh, I agree. Like Call of Duty 3 and World at War, those are probably aside from the Modern Warfare games, because okay, really funny memory as the theme of this kind of episode is Braxton's a child, but check this out, right?
Yep.
I used to, when we, you let us play, I have this memory of me, Addison, and our neighbor Bailey yelling out the window to you doing yard work out front and go, can we play Call of Duty 3? And, we weren't allowed to for a long time because it was a war game, it was a shooting game when we were very young.
Yeah.
And today was that day where you said, yeah.
Right.
And we fired it up and we played the first mission because Bailey's already been able to play those games.
Sure.
Me and Addison have not. We've been playing Battlefront
Yeah.
2, Star Wars, and that was plenty of fun. And honestly, I prefer that over Call of Duty 3, low key. But super funny. So you let us play, and we fired up, and that is my only exposure to war, like real war, is World War II. I currently thought that Call of Duty 3, that thing was like present day level war. So in 2000, like
I remember you telling me this.
6
This
or
is
7
so
when you let me play that game. I thought that that's what actually was happening. That our U.S. military was running around with Thompsons, M1 Grands, and MP40s, and like the freaking potato grenades. I thought that's what real life was. And then when you let us play Modern Warfare, I'm like, "Was this the future?" And you're like, "No, this is right now." That rocked my
It's
world,
so
dude.
funny.
I was like, "What?"
They're like-
you got lasers on guns?
Like bayonets and
Yeah,
stuff. It's
I-
modern day.
Literally, I thought that's what was going on. That's my only exposure to war. And I don't know. That's a little side tangent.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good to know.
Yeah, now you do know. Yeah. What is the I got this question here, but what's like been the hardest part about parenting me or Addison? What's kind of been the hardest part of it? Could be like broad as like parenting in general, like what's a hard part being a parent, or like what you found in your experience, or it could be more specific about me and Addison, or both if you want to.
I mean, I think your mom and I would say this probably the same thing, right? Is that we've been pretty fortunate that both you and your brother have been good kids.
Yeah.
Nobody's gotten into, outside of you streaking.
We got to talk about that.
That's really the only trouble you've ever really been in. And your brother hasn't ever been in any trouble because he's afraid of being in trouble. Somewhat. So you might have to edit
Shout out
out.
Addison. No. This is all raw. Nothing comes.
Yeah. So we've been pretty fortunate and actually thankful that, we haven't had to deal with some things that some families have to deal with where, people make poor decisions or get caught up with the wrong crew and then they make bad decisions and then they're in trouble or whatever. So that's, we're pretty thankful. The hardest part is, obviously trying to juggle the demands that your brother has because of, the obvious. But also trying to let you be you and give you the attention that you deserved. And sometimes I think we did an okay job, and sometimes I think we didn't do a good job of trying to balance that and try to give. It's one thing when you're both together, but if you're not together, how do we balance? Showing both of you the same level of attention and love and all that. So that, to me, that was the hardest part about being a parent. And, Christmases, we went out of our way to make sure, you had 7 gifts and your brother had 7 gifts. So it always equaled. And we tried to make sure that, we spent the same amount of money, and it wasn't, it wasn't one-sided or anything like that. So,
and you guys did a good job of that, we
tried.
Well, the efforts paid off then. I don't think Addison and I have ever, when we're kids, it's easy to, kids are petty, so we go, there was this time where I think I told you love Addison more than me when we were 6, and you had a blanket over your head or something like that. We were playing hide and go seek, and I was being a little brat, right?
Right.
And there's times like that, right? But I think for the most part, reflecting on my childhood as an adult now, or a young adult, I think you and Mom, you guys killed it. You slaughtered it. I don't think Addison and I could ever ask for any better parents, and I think I personally, aside from little petty moments like that, right? I've never truly felt like Addison is ever above me, and I know he's never felt that way.
Right.
So, good job. Props to him.
Nice job.
Mark
High five.
Woo!
High five.
Yeah, there we go. That's a spike right there.
Yeah.
Just from clapping.
Perfect.
Yeah. What do you got, Deke?
This is kind of a softball question. Well, how would you describe your personality to the listeners?
My personality is pretty low key, but also 100% smartass.
Okay.
That is so
accurate.
If
you ask me a question, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give you a smart response. I'm not going to answer you honestly, because for whatever reason, I want to see you roll your eyes. I want to see you giggle, laugh.
You're just a bastard.
Right? I'm just kind of
There it is, everybody. Now you know where I get it from. That I'm a complete asswipe,
So to me that's, but I also am, I think I'm a very respectful and I'm unless you're doing something personally to my family, you can be whatever you want to me, but and I'll take it and I'll just whatever. But you do something to my family, and that's a different story. Yeah. So I'll get a little cranky.
Has there ever been any moments where that's been tested on the line, where someone's threatened it doesn't have to be super violent altercation, but something that's tested the line of family, of Mom or me and Ad, or individually, all of us collectively or individually? Has there ever been a moment where you've had to,
or you raise your brow, or you think for a second, maybe I could stay here, do this.
Yeah. It's time to check in.
Yeah.
I don't think, not that I.
You're pretty good at diffusing 10 situations.
That I can think of, right? I mean, there's. Yeah, I can't think of any examples where I'm had to get in somebody's face or raise my voice or because for whatever reason. I mean, yeah, I might have said, "Hey, we're gonna take a walk up behind the woodshed. We're gonna have a little chat," but
we're just gonna chop you up real quick.
That is a
quote chat.
That is a classic right there. Is it? You want me to take you out behind the woodshed? Whenever Addison and I would, dink around.
Yeah. So no, I mean, I unfortunately I'm not, to my knowledge. Now your mom might come back and say, "Oh, no, remember this time?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," but not.
Yeah, totally. That's good. That's a great question, TK. Yeah. Speaking of mom, how did you guys meet? I know, but I'd love for everyone else to know.
Yeah. So your mom and I met a couple 100,000 years ago.
Back in the caveman walls.
So
you guys can read about it there too, the Smithsonian.
So we met at a track meet.
Oh, see, I didn't know this. I only know mom's perspective. So
I was doing the long jump, and your mom was a sprinter. Not a sprinter, sorry. She was a long distance runner, and she, I don't know, for whatever reason, she kind of sauntered over my way while I was doing long jump, and we talked for a few minutes, briefly. Hey, hi, who were,
right,
and then a few days later, we ran into each other at a track or at a friend's house who's having barbecue, right?
Sure.
So we were there, and she actually came up and started talking to me again, but this time she was trying to make her boyfriend jealous.
Oh,
I had no idea. What?
Yep. So,
Mom, this is good.
Yeah. So that's essentially how we met, and then shortly after that, we started dating, and then 1,000 years later. Right?
Was it Olivia Anderson's dad?
No.
Just we kind of got like a family lineage.
We do, yeah.
Kind of thing.
We had to follow up on that.
The last guest is it Aaron Anderson?
Yeah.
Aaron Anderson's daughter, and for those of you who don't know, my mom, Paula Novio, and Aaron Anderson were best friends in high school, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
they were friends for a long time, since middle school, I think.
Yeah.
I can't recall if your mom ever said that they maybe had a crush on each other maybe a long time ago, but it turned out they were just friends. So
yeah, I mean, clearly here you are with 2 kids and a mortgage. So
right, well, yeah, but yeah. So and then we just started dating and dated for a long time. I mean, 10 years before we got married.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was a couple spots there where we took a break, right? Like one summer we took a break, and but then next thing you know, we're back together again.
Yeah.
So
inseparable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of things together. We had a lot of fun. We both worked for U-Haul at one point, and they used to rent RVs. So we rented an RV and went camping at Mount Rainier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. We went up there and...
Any UFO experiences there?
Not...
Okay.
No. Bears,
you
deer...
can leave the podcast now. That's all we need you
We're only here for the supernatural.
We're only here for the supernatural.
Okay.
Dad, are you an alien? I need to know.
Well, I have this port. No.
This strange hole in my
Yeah.
backside.
Right. So, but yeah. Yeah, we dated, a long time. Yeah.
You said 10 years before marrying. Yeah. When was the moment you knew that mom was the one for you? That you didn't want to be with anyone else?
So,
it was mom.
I knew I was pretty serious about your mom. And I figured at one point we'd get married, but so I left to go to college, and your mom stayed here or stayed at home. I can't remember why. She didn't have credits yet or something like that, so I couldn't remember why.
Sure.
Anyhow, I going to Western because I already got my 2-year degree. And I was going to go to Western, finish out the 4-year thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but she was staying here, so it would be the first time we had been apart in a long time. Mm-hmm. And so I made the proclamation at that point that when I graduated that we would get married. I would come back and we would get married.
Epic.
That is epic.
And...
Did you make that proclamation to yourself or to mom?
No, to mom.
Oh, nice.
The night I was leaving.
Sure.
Because the next day I was driving up and she didn't come up.
Oh, you old softy.
Grandma and Grandpa helped me move in, and she stayed home. So
that's kind of like a movie moment.
That is.
Was that like
I'll be back
with
for
the
you,
music blaring as in like a triumphant, or was it
for
more of a
certain
somber
gentleman
one?
thing? No, I mean there was. I recall, it was probably one of the again, having a laid back personality and not one to impose my will on other people. I guess. You could say that, Mark's kind of a yes man, and I'm just someone that agrees with what other people want to do because I don't really care.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, hey, let's go burn down a house. Nah, that's not really what I want to do. But hey, where do you want to go have dinner? Oh, okay, sure, fine, no problem. I don't care. Yeah. Or what do you want to do tonight? Oh, you want to go, dune buggy.
Yeah, thanks
okay,
to
cool.
that causes problems in my own relationship.
Right.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
Right?
Just kidding.
But you know what?
Kinda.
So this was probably one of the first times that I really made a proclamation or asserted my desires and my will to say that this is what I want.
Yeah.
Right? And I was very what's the word I want to use? I don't want to concrete seems, but I was very firm and direct and absolute about what I was saying. Mm-hmm. And obviously that also made the moment emotional.
Yeah, totally. Because I bet that meant a lot for mom too. Because you're a pretty lax guy. So
I think so. So I think it moved us both, and then,
sure.
And then a year later, I was home again because I decided I needed more money to be able to go to school. Yeah. So
right, and then you and Mom went back and then finished it out together. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So then I took a year off, and got my finances in order. Mm-hmm. And then your mom didn't think she could go to school, and your Grandpa Zenobio, convinced your mom that why not? You're smart.
Yeah.
Do it. Apply. See what happens, right?
Yeah.
And
of course he'd say that.
So long story short, she ended up applying and got in, and so we ended up moving up to Bellingham together and going to school and working our tails off in jobs and school and yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
That was epic. Yeah. That's good.
Well, yeah. I think we could transition over to one of the other massive aspects of your life, Mark, which would be your love of music.
Yeah.
When did that kind of springboard for you growing up?
So, probably middle school. Mm-hmm. So junior high, middle school, kind of. When I first started to get into, I mean, we've always had music in the house, in the car. We'd spent a lot of time on the weekends driving between Parkland and Harstein Island, and that's an hour and a half, 2 hour trip. And Grandma always used to have music on. Grandpa always had music on in the house. So, but it was more like Johnny Mathis or the Osmonds or something like that.
Pretty old ancient group.
But it was. Yeah, it was just the music of the time, right? It's the mid to late 70s, stuff like that. Yeah. So you're listening to Cat Stevens or something like that, or Neil Sedaka, and you guys are like, who?
Sudoku.
I don't know who that is.
Right.
I've heard the name. I've heard
Barry Manilow or Neil Diamond and stuff like that.
Okay, well, Neil Diamond, we know Neil Diamond.
Right. So, anyway, I just starting to get into music, and I think somebody got me a little radio and with a tape deck, and I started listening, and then I started making my own mixtapes. But I really started out I started listening to disco.
What?
And I was
I am completely void of any knowledge of this. I had no idea this ever happened.
I think
what? You were a disco man?
I don't think you have them anymore, but I think at one point you had all the 45s, and some of those 45s had disco music in it.
No, I still have them. I still have them.
Yeah.
They're up there in Gig Harbor.
Yeah,
they're back home.
So I started listening to that, and then out of all of a sudden one day I heard a Kinks song. I wish it was like Superman.
Like the Kinks?
The Kinks, yeah.
Love the Kinks.
Yeah.
Kinks are a great group.
Superman, I wish I was like Superman. And I'm like, I dig that. Then I heard a Bad Company song. I dig that. So,
how old of a group is Bad Company?
They've been around a couple of days.
Oh, a couple of days. Sure.
Right? So they're a 70s band, right?
Sure.
Kinks 70s band, right? That really started, and then I came across a radio station that is still around today, at KISW, and I started listening to, basically rock and roll, and I really started. Something hit a chord with me, no pun intended, and so I've listened to rock music, but I generally like all types of music, right?
Except rap, apparently.
Yeah, I'm not a huge rap guy. I mean, there are a few artists that I'll listen to that I like, but I'm not a huge. I'm just not a huge rap guy. But that's neither here. I'm not a huge country guy either.
Sure.
And there's some artists that I like. Garth Brooks, I think, is a tremendous artist.
Yeah.
His genre is country, but he can probably sing anything.
I feel like that's like kind of the baseline is that everyone has to at least respect Garth Brooks. He's like the
seriously,
first person
he's the innovator.
says,
Yeah.
I mean, there's Garth Brooks. There's
Luke Combs. He just went on tour. He's still on tour right now.
Yeah, I don't know any Luke Combs. I mean, I'm sure he's probably good. To me, the newer version of country, just as my personal opinion, the newer country is more rock and roll. It's more rock than it is country.
I agree.
If you listen to it, I mean, there's still some twang in it, and some of the lyrics they're country because the lyrics are like, my dog in my truck and, she left me and that kind of stuff. But,
Tangerine.
Yeah.
Right.
The Tangerine.
But, I've always been a rock and roll guy, but, I'll mix it up. Give me some good funk. Give me,
sure.
something to
you
dance
bust down
to.
to JT.
Right? Like Justin Timberlake, right? I like people who are talented and have skills, and it doesn't have to be a rock and roll artist. It can be anybody. Celine Dion, freaking woman has serious pipes, right?
Yeah,
dig that, right? Because she has skills.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Where and as somebody that has aspired to do music, what really, I don't know, rubs me the wrong way is if somebody that samples somebody else's song and makes money off of it and just twists some things around. I'm like, you weren't you're semi-created, but probably some producer in a studio whipped this up for you and you spit it out and you make some money and then you're gone the next day. I don't have respect for people that are here today and gone tomorrow, I guess, because their longevity, I mean, and they don't seem to, when you look at the label and it says song written by, and there's 15 different people and produced by, so I guess that's where I'm at. I mean, that's not to say that some other acts today that maybe I like aren't in the same boat.
Sure.
But
yeah.
You're looking for authorship and like creativity. Like,
I mean, look at, I mean, I don't listen to any of this, but look at Taylor Swift. Say what you want about Taylor Swift. Super creative gal.
Oh, yeah.
Right? From an early age. Right? And she's kept it going.
Yeah.
How many artists that are on the Grammys or American Music Awards that won an award last year, where are they today? Well, nowhere. They're a one-hit wonder, and they disappeared because they made a few bucks, and then they thought they were the bomb, and they didn't put the work in.
Well, here's the thing: one-hit wonders aren't just like a new thing. One-hit wonders are very 80s. They're very big 80s.
I play a couple of one-hit wonders in my band, so I
Yeah. But what's the difference between these one-hit wonders and the ones now?
Aren't any really. It's it's that some of these people now get more press and accolades for their one hit.
I see.
And then they disappear.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, I grew up in a different era, listening to different stuff.
Yeah.
And to you guys, right, where, like you said, you're going to a concert for some guy that I don't even know, and I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Kendrick Lamar.
But, he might be, he's probably great.
He's screaming right now. He's like vicariously like, he's got his guys on the inside listening to this right now, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like Mark Zenobia.
He's giving
out of pocket.
Yeah. If I told you I could kill you, Mark Zenobia, would you believe me?
Right.
He would do that. He would say that, right? And you go, I come from a generation of killing Mark Zenobias. Right? Or something. But anyway, that's really cool. I like that perspective. Yeah. So music being like probably your biggest passion.
It is now. So it wasn't before. In high school, I was a pretty serious athlete.
Oh yeah. Let's get into this.
Come
on.
I played. I predominantly played basketball. That was my passion. All year round. It'd be 95 out and I'd be shooting hoops. I kept hoping that I'd be taller than 5'10".
I was gonna say you weren't the tallest character.
No, but I'll tell you what.
For ball,
I played every position on the court during my tenure.
Didn't realize my dad was
point guard to center.
So
wow.
I started out at center. So all my friends were a little bit shorter than me when I first started playing in elementary school, and I was the center, and lanky, skinny, greasy haired looking shit. And
hey, why are you talking about me?
So I played center, and then as we grew up, right, all my friends and the guys I played with, they grew past me and got taller.
That's exactly what happened to me in elementary school too.
Right?
Yep.
So by the time we got to high school, I was the point guard.
Yeah.
And so, so I predominantly played basketball. I played soccer here and there. I played softball a couple years, but baseball didn't really, didn't work, and I got tired of soccer, but then I played football for a few years, which was fun. I liked playing football. Yeah. It was a good time. But basketball was my thing, and I did track and field a couple of years.
Was that more to keep in shape for the other seasons, or
I don't know why. I don't know why I did track. Someone said, "Hey, you should come out and track and field, and you're kind of fast, and you can jump high. Maybe you'd be good at high jump." So I did high jump.
Oh yeah.
So I did the high jump, and then I did the long jump, and a couple times I ran the 4x100 relay.
Sure.
I ran against your uncle. So we had a track meet. So your Uncle Randy, we because he went to FP like your mom.
Yeah.
And so we had a track meet and would run against him.
Sure.
I played football against him, and I was on offense, he was on defense, and he kept me out of the end zone one time.
What position did you play?
So I played halfback. So
That's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah. So I ran a pitch to the outside, and I was here I'm going, and all of a sudden I see your Uncle Randy coming. I'm like, damn it! And I tried to get out and I couldn't get out of his way. And so
you can't get past Randy.
No,
from that bald head. But he was kind of the pretty boy back then, right? So.
Yeah, your uncle wasn't bald back then. He had
he was
full head. We all had mullets back then. So.
Oh yeah, badass.
Yeah,
that's epic.
But basketball was my thing, and I was really serious about it. In fact, I played football my freshman year. Then junior year came around and said, no, I'm gonna wait for basketball, and I want to really get ready for basketball season. Mm-hmm. And I had the worst basketball season ever. I just, for whatever reason, I had to get in shape.
Yeah. And
I wasn't in shape, even though I was shooting hoops and
all
that, right? But football, if I would have played football, I would have been in shape because you're already active, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So that was a major screw up on my part, but
Yeah. Because sports, I think we'd all agree, sports takes a lot of discipline, a lot of self-discipline to try and be actually successful at something. You can't half-ass it.
Right.
A lot like music and
you can't.
And almost everything you can't half-ass it if you want to be good at it, right?
Right.
And do you think you had that at an early age? You realize that. Okay, if I want to be good, this took a while. Because, for me as a kid, I had the same opportunity as you to play, these sports, right? But, I would go as far as I was decent at them. But I never was good, I was never, Braxton's a starter, right? And that's fine. But, because I don't think I really had the discipline to try my hardest. Because, I don't know, maybe you can, because you're my father, you can see, what I was into and what I wasn't. And I don't know, I liked playing those sports and I liked doing those things, but I think I just lacked a little bit of that discipline, that dedication that you clearly had when I was my age.
I don't know if it's discipline or dedication or just, maybe it just boils down to something simple as, are you good at it?
True.
And if it doesn't come naturally and it's come easy at a sport, right? You're less likely to get more invested in it and do it. Whereas, as a comparison, you picked up the guitar and you were into it, and you focused on it and you got good at it because you were into it. Yeah. And to me, whenever you do something, if you're good at it ooh, I like this. You like it more, right? You know, it's like, you know, it's like that girlfriend that she likes me back. Okay, I'm into her now, and I'm into her now more because she likes me more. You know, same, right? That guitar likes me because I can play it, and it's singing to me as I pluck it, and I like it more, and so I'm gonna do more with it. Same. Hey, I'm shooting hoops, or I'm playing lacrosse. Hey, it's working for me. I like this. It's working, and it's coming easy, and I can get really good at it. And you know, same with sports.
I sucked at lacrosse. I was so
But you had fun.
I did. I liked it for the time, the brief time that I played.
I mean, I think maybe your coach was a little suspect, and
it wasn't him. Well, he was a little weird. He was a little odd. Coach Hannon. I'm literally just calling him out right now. Coach Hannon was a little sus, but it was the Panisi. No, it was the other. Remember the doctor that
I know this
tried to feel me up on the sideline.
Oh.
You might. Shannon remembers that. Dakota's mom remembers that. Yeah.
So I mean, that's my take on right. I mean, if you're good at something, and you feel it coming, and people are cheering you on, makes you try more, right?
Totally.
I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, look at Deacon and I now with these movies, like.
Right.
People cheer us on because we're really good at it.
We're pretty good.
We're pretty good.
And you continue to get better, right? I mean, so.
Yeah, totally.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, where have you taken your music interest into current day, and what are you doing now? Because you're performing.
Right. So, I turned 50 6 years ago. And I had a birthday party, and
I knew this is when it started. I knew it.
So I was in a band when I was in junior college. I was in it for a summer, and I really dug it. And I never really thought I could sing actually until I got out of high school. And so I started singing in a car, and you know, was out with some friends, had a couple of drinks, and was singing along, and next thing I'm like, man, why aren't you in a band, man? You could sing really good. And so
Saints of Los Angeles. Dude. I got a fond memory of me playing King Kong Game Boy and you singing the Motley Crue Saints of Los Angeles album driving me to school.
And I had the same thing with my dad too. Yeah.
So anyhow, I ended up playing with this band called the Bowmockers. And it means nothing. It was a made up name. And
the what?
The Bowmockers.
Sure isn't the butt.
And that was kind of fun, and I had fun at that. And then it kind of fell apart, and I got involved in school, and then I sang at your mom's wedding, or not your mom's, but our wedding.
Yeah.
And did karaoke here and there for a while, you know, and that was kind of fun. But never really thought about, you know, taking it to the next level until my birthday, and we hired a band to play at that birthday party.
Yeah.
And
for reference, I dressed up as my dad.
Yes, you did.
When I wore his basketball uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Those shorts are high, just as the myth says.
Yeah.
Those shorts are very high.
So anyhow, they let me get up there and sing a couple songs with them, and that really ignited the
fire.
The idea of maybe I should, you know, start performing and you know, find a band and stuff like that. So
yeah,
took a couple years, and next thing you know, I found a band, and so yeah.
You've been doing it for 3 years now.
Yeah, it's been a little over 3 years. Yep.
And you've been in the one band the whole time.
Yep.
What is it? Tell us about. Plug it. This is it. This is it, man. This is the time for MGP.
I'm in a classic rock band called My Guilty Pleasure. It's with 4 other guys, so we have a dual guitar kind of setup.
Yeah.
And we've been playing together for 3+ years now, and we have a catalog of probably 65 songs, but we probably play around consistently. We play, you know, I think about 50 of them.
Yeah. Because
they're the most popular, and we have some obscure stuff that we do here and there that mainly shows up in rehearsal because it's stuff that we like, but
it's
nobody
fun to
else.
play, but not to listen to.
Yeah, it wouldn't be something that you'd go to a bar and, or a venue and want to play necessarily. But yeah, so we've been doing that, and we probably play. I don't know.
You guys play pretty consistently, like.
Yeah, we play
almost consistently enough that I'm like, okay. I'm like, cut it back, man. This is kind of crazy.
We play probably, twice a month.
Yeah.
But when it works out, right? I mean, it's probably only 9. So we probably have, 18, 20 gigs a year.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's great, yeah.
And
they're not just like little, every now and again you have a smaller gig, but they're like medium to big gigs.
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to get involved in or play at some venues that are pretty cool. So we played at recently played at McMiniman's at the Spanish Ballroom, which is pretty cool. We played at last couple years. We played at the annual Gig Harbor Beer Festival.
That's right.
About 1,500 people attend that.
Biggest crowd? Is that your biggest crowd?
Probably.
Or with this Maritime?
The Maritime Festival, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people there. I mean, there's people out in the grassy area, maybe 500 people. I don't know.
Sure.
But then there's people walking around all over, coming in and coming out. So, it wasn't consistent. McMiniman's probably played to 300-400 people at McMiniman's, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. So we've played to some sizable crowds and stuff like that. So it's been fun.
And you guys are rearing the end of your Washington State local tour. That's right.
Sure.
Well, that's what you called it, in your promos. And I know you kind of
No, last year
you had some juice to the. You had some rum to the rice. That's just a metaphor.
Rum to the rice.
Rum to the rice.
Yeah. No, last year, right when we were coming out of COVID, we kind of, get the Reconnected tour, right? Just kind of, some of the gigs that we had, we just put them all together and said we were on tour trying to get reconnected with people.
Sure.
We didn't play for like 8 months.
I know, and it was a visible, depression in you, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the band, I don't know. I've always, and this is something I thought, we talked about earlier, but I guess we're talking about now. Just like you and Mom, you dedicate your entire lives to Addison and I. Like,
yeah.
There's not like a second that you guys don't do something. There's not like one thing you guys don't do.
Right.
You don't think about us.
Right.
And like think how it will positively affect us. And like,
right.
I'm so thankful for that. And I know Addison is too. But I think because you guys are such great parents, it also, comes at the cost of some things that you and Mom would like to do, like some of your passions, right?
Right.
And when you got in this band, it was really, really cool because, like, I've seen you excited for things that I do. Like, I know you, like, live vicariously through, your kids as they, when Addison first graduated college, like, that was a huge moment. And, and like, when I, recorded my first song, like, that was a huge moment, right?
It was cool.
For you as a parent, these big moments, but, like, there weren't a lot of like big personal moments in like your later adult life aside from, and I guess like that comes with like having kids, and you that's just like the role you're in, but we're a very ambitious family, very, very ambitious family. The moves we make, I don't see a lot of other families making those moves. I'll be honest, right? With the auction, the band, this production company, and that's with people or not, like,
right.
And that's the cool part is it's always with other people.
Yeah,
it's with close people, and that's what makes it so rich and cool is because it's got heart. Mm-hmm. You need more than one person to have heart in something, right?
Yep.
And in my opinion, and so when you got into this band, it was really cool to see you like actively like care about like a hobby that wasn't just like me or Addison or Mom's thing, because you're pretty lax, but you're also like very serious when it comes to making our dreams come true for me and Addison and Mom, right?
Right.
And so to see your dream come true, to be the front man of a band, and you like it was like night and day. Like you got into a band, and then the next day like, you know, I played like a couple of open mic gigs and things like that, and stuff like that, and so I kind of like knew the most about that scene. But it was like you were in it, and like a day, you knew more than me, and you were doing more than me, and like I just thought that was so cool because like I'm like that's my dad. Like that's so cool. My dad's a rock star. He's literally a rock star.
I don't know about that.
Well, no, you are a local rock star because like everyone talks about you on Facebook, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's MGP," you know, and you bring a mass crowd, you know, places. You guys have a following, so
we do. Big following.
Huge following, So I mean, that was just really cool, and it's inspiring to me that like the passions and the fire and the magic for like personal goals doesn't die past children, doesn't die past 50.
Right.
Even if you want to, Addison will call it your midlife crisis, and I think I will too. But hey, Mac, you know, whatever blows your hair back, right? Right. But I just thought that was super cool. Yeah. But MGP, where are they next? Where can we see? 3 years in the making, right? We got a big event coming up.
Yeah. So the next gig is next Saturday at the Flotation Device. They are celebrating their 17th anniversary of being an establishment, and so we were fortunate enough to be invited to help them celebrate.
That's so cool.
And so we'll be there Saturday night at about 8:30 to start rocking the doors and blowing the roof off the place. So if you're in Purdy, Washington, come on in, and if you're lucky enough, Braxton will buy your drink.
You know, I probably will, but check this out. I'll ask you to pay me back for it.
Easy.
So basically, it's a win-win and a lose-lose at the same time because I go through the anxiety of watching money leave my bank account, and then you just have to pay me back in the end. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I have an essential question.
Yeah.
What are some go-to songs that you guys know will get a crowd going?
Yeah.
You know, that like people will expect. Is there any like regulars that are like, you guys need to play this one?
Yeah. So we have when we first started playing, our set list changed all the time, and it started to be a pain in the ass because every time I have to come up with a new set list. And so about a year ago, I said, okay, we're going to make a set list that has our popular songs in it that everyone likes,
like
right?
A preset,
It's our standard set,
right?
Yeah. And so we have some go-to songs in that, like we'll play, Brick House by the Commodores. We'll play that funky music, White Boy. Then
Purple Rain. Are you guys done with that one?
No, we sprinkle Purple Rain in and out, right? We'll sprinkle in a little Poison. Every rose has a thorn.
Oh, that's
we'll
good.
sprinkle that one in here and there. But then we'll pretty much play. We're gonna play. We play a Van Halen song called.
I don't know that one.
You don't know that one? Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Do you know?
You Really Got Me. You know, it's a Kinks song actually. It's a remake, right? But we'll play You Really Got Me. We'll play. We always play Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. We always play Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me. We'll play AC/DC's You Shook Me All Night Long. We always play Creep by Radiohead.
I'll say that's your best song.
So,
really?
And I know you know it too.
So we play that. And we've added like Working for the Weekend by Loverboy. So we have there, but it's pretty much very, we like to play Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty. And we add our own little extended version to it. It goes a little bit longer. And if people are on the dance floor and they're hopping, some songs will just keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we'll recognize, and we have a pretty phenomenal lead guitar player, and he just senses it, and he just keeps going.
Sure.
And he's pretty technically, he's really sound, and he just keeps jamming. So it's pretty fun.
You guys are pretty like linked in. Like I think obviously over the years of playing together, you guys kind of got the band mind link. That all good bands get. So every now and again, they want to play a song that literally no one would get off their feet for, but you guys are pretty in tune.
Yeah, it's a pretty good dynamic. We've never really had any. I mean, a knock on wood, right? Because I'll say it, and then we will have but we've never really had a dust up or anything like that or disagreement, right?
Sure.
Everyone's pretty good, and
that's the magic of doing it when you're 50.
Sometimes somebody will make a comment like, "Hey, let's play this song," and nobody responds. I'm like, "Okay, that's a no." So.
Does that normally happen in person or over like the text group chat?
No, normally we try to sometimes we introduce songs via text, and if nobody responds, that nobody. Like,
so it truly is awkward,
right,
just in the
Andy's
basement or something like that.
It's like it's in his garage.
It's a cricket, freaking cricket fart.
Or you do it in person, right? Hey, listen to the song. What do you think we should play it? And for those that are, you just get the head nod.
Everyone's too nice to say it, but it's like, oh yeah, you still get the memo.
It's the magic. You guys have like the perfect dynamic because you've all lived long lives.
Yeah. I guess.
You guys have all. Who's the youngest in the band?
Tony.
Tony is 40?
46, yeah.
46, right?
Yeah.
You guys have all lived long freaking lives, and so you guys have
and they've all played together before. So Tony and Chris have been playing together probably for 20 years.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Awesome. I had no idea.
In different bands and different incarnations and stuff like that. And Terry's played with him. Andy played with him a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, those guys have known each other for quite a long time. I'm the new kid on the block in terms of, the relationship with all of these guys and performing. I mean, they've been performing for years. But
yeah, that's so cool. And how did you guys all meet, to kind of round out the band,
So we so I was jonesing pretty hard to get in a band.
Yeah, I remember,
And I was
fiending
on different websites, Facebook pages, stuff like that, trying to see if I could get hooked up. And I auditioned for a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, I'd love to bring you on, but I think we're gonna break up." And the next day they broke up. But he goes, "I know this other guy that he's a drummer and he's looking for a singer," and so he turned me on to Andy, who is drummer of My Guilty Pleasure, and so I'm like, "Yeah," I met him, and we drove all the way to Woodby Island. I'm like, okay, and I did it twice. And it says, "Yeah, that'd be cool to be in this band, but it's too flippin' far," because at that point I was working in Seattle, coming all the way home through the South Sound, and meeting him at the Park and Ride in Gig Harbor, and then going all the way up to the island. And I says, "I can't do this. So unless you guys want to find a different rehearsal spot, there's no way. Right? It's just too much, And so they found a new spot, and so we've been doing it ever since. We started out as a 4-piece, and then like a month and a half in, we're like, maybe we should add a second guitar. Mm-hmm. So that's when we brought Terry in, and we've been jamming ever since.
So cool.
But the cool part is that it's really we had some friends over last night, and he's a musician as well, and we were just commenting how we had friends before, and we knew people in Gig Harbor, but through the music community in Gig Harbor, we've gotten to know way more people, and our circle of friends and acquaintances, right, has quadrupled, right? Yeah. And there's some really great people out there, really great musicians, super talented area, and we feel really fortunate enough to have met these people, and some of these people we've become pretty good friends with, and we've done really productive things in the community with them, in terms of we help people kick off Christmas parades and and other fundraisers, and cancer awareness, and performed with other people. It's kind of cool that, hey, you want to come perform with us? We're doing a benefit, so jump in and sing a few songs.
You guys are like the people's band, like the people's champion.
It's community focused and everything.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to get to know people and through music actually also make a difference and help people. It's one thing to get up there and play and have a good time and party it. Hey, Saturday night we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna put people to come out and have a few drinks and dance and but then on the flip side, put something together where you're actually making a difference and benefiting a cause. So that's been cool too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Would you consider these band members your best friends?
I don't know if they're my best friends, but they're close friends.
Could be
they're
listening
good friends.
to this.
They're good friends. I think they're good friends, right?
That Andy, Terry.
And, you know, I mean, we've hung out for 3 years, and you know, every COVID aside, right? We're together once a week. Yeah. We're rehearsing for a couple hours, you know, and then we're playing shows. I mean, most of our shows are 3 to 4 hours in duration. So then, you know, you get there 2 hours before a show because you got to set up.
Yeah.
Takes time to set up and do a sound check, and you don't want to just show up and start playing. You want to have you know, people to gather, and you know, and then it takes a good hour or so to tear down. Mm-hmm. So you know, gig nights you're together for 7 hours. Yeah. You know, and that's unfortunate that some venues don't get that, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, you know, I'm spending 7-8 hours of my day to benefit your venue. Mm-hmm. You know, and then they don't. You know, not that we're in it to make money, you know. I mean, there is a, you know, a little perk that you get a couple $dollars for performing, but some people try to undermine that, like, oh, I'm gonna pay you $200. I'm like, let's see, that's $200 divided by 5. You know, divide that by 8 hours, right? Oh, I made $3.50 an hour. So, yeah. I mean, again, it's not that we're in it for the money, but equipment, travel time, you know, stuff like that costs money.
It's a lot of investment across the board, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Do you have a message to your fellow MGP members? Yeah. Something you want to say to them? They might listen to it. You never know. I'm plug just it to the guys. I'm gonna plug it this coming week. I'm gonna say listen to my podcast.
Right. I mean, I am super thankful for, like I said, the music community in Gig Harbor, the South Sound, the Peninsula. You know, from Silverdale to Tacoma, is pretty rich, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of that community, or you know, be able to, you know, be in some circles of friends and stuff like that, and I really appreciate all the people that come out and support us, and I know there's some people that follow us outside of, you know, spouses that show up regularly to gigs and stuff like that, and we really appreciate that. And you know, some of the venues that continue to have us back, I'm appreciative, you know, because obviously we're doing something right to get invited back, and so and it's been fun, and
Anything to the guys of the band?
The guys are great. You know, we get along well. We jam. We have a good time, and it's been great to get to know them and learn from them, because some of them are more seasoned than I am in terms of, you know, performing and doing this before, and so learning from them has been a cool opportunity, you know, and I just look forward to continuing to grow and evolve as a band, and you know, continue to have fun and play good stuff and
dye each other's hair.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. That's awesome.
I think I'm the only one that dyes their hair.
I like it. You got anything else, Deke?
What's a quote that you want to give our listeners?
Yeah.
Like something,
a word of wisdom?
Yeah, word of wisdom. Some kind of catchphrase.
Well, like I've always told Braxton, never rub another man's rhubarb.
That's a good one. Yep, I've heard that.
Might not be appropriate for this channel, but...
this is, I don't know.
It's going,
It's going, man. I got an ass count of 4 now.
Yep, got him.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I think I've tried to instill this in you and your brother, you know, follow your dreams, and what's the worst thing that can happen to you is somebody might say no, but if you never try, you'll never know, right? So at least give it a go, you know, and see what happens. You might find that you were jonesing for something, and once you start doing it, you're like, I don't really like it, you know?
Yeah. My dad and you have the same advice and like thoughts on music and everything. You guys really need to talk more.
You do. Honestly, Dad,
you guys are like soulmates. You guys are like you guys can have a mind link.
No, you guys would really get along because he like hung out with like bands back in the days when you guys were younger.
Same taste in music and same.
You should have. You would have dug last night. So Matt and Kimber were over last night.
Yeah.
My good friend Matt Lawrence, who's in a band called the Prophets. They're going to be playing. And that's another good thing about this music community, right? You could easily get tied up into competing and trying to sabotage other bands, but that doesn't happen. we all try to support each other and promote each other, in terms of playing. And in fact, they play the same night at the Spanish Ballroom as we're playing at the Float, but we're both promoting each other. So, which is really cool, and we've become pretty decent friends. But and I kind of he's had the same. He grew up in San Francisco. He's hung out with the likes of Metallica, Madonna. He's good friends with a guy that was with I'm losing my mind right now.
That's okay. It is 11:14 right now. It's a late one.
The song that was in Shrek.
Smash Mouth?
Yeah.
Oh,
Smash
wait.
Mouth.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he's pretty good friends with the guitar player for Smash Mouth, who wrote pretty much all of Smash Mouth's music. He's good friends with him. In fact, I got to meet him. I got to play with him, which was a pretty cool highlight. Last summer, in his backyard, we played about 4 or 5 songs together.
Oh,
and it was pretty epic. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. There was like 5 people there, but I don't care. It was cool.
So
Get to play with somebody that actually done it professionally in the biz, and it's still successful. So yeah.
Dude,
that's so cool.
What an epic episode.
Yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that last comment.
I don't even know either. I think it was off of Deacon's question of just like the words of wisdom, follow your dreams.
Yeah, follow your dreams.
Yeah. You got anything else, buddy?
No, that was about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Do you got anything else you want to say, Dad?
No, I just appreciate you having me on your podcast. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully your check doesn't bounce. And it's been epic. Talking about all sorts of things, from video games to raising kids to courting your mom and
music.
All life in between, right?
Oh, yeah,
music.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, you're pretty all right, Dad. You're all right.
Yeah.
Kind of mid.
Right on.
Nah. You're great. Best dad out there. Couldn't ask for a better one.
Right on.
Well, yeah. Deacon, you want to close us out here, man?
Yeah. Thank you again so much for coming on the podcast. For launching our viewership into a
man.
for the 3rd episode.
We're going to get like 1 million views off of this one, yeah.
And, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. To Nobody's Watching, the podcast where we go to you guys and try and interview you and understand what makes you tick and what you're passionate about. I'm Braxton Zenobio.
And this was Deacon Tuttle.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sounds good.
No, who are you?
Oh, I'm just Dad.
What?
Oh,
come on. It's Mark Zenobio from NGP, baby.
Right.
We're Nobody's Watching's co-host. Thanks for watching Nobody's. See you next time.
See ya.